Kurapika Kurta of the Kurta clan. Kurapika is my number 4. Kurapika is, some say, the Sasuke of Hunter x Hunter. And it's a little, I don't know, man. It's a lot to that. Yes, he is in a sense, but it's deeper than that for me. I think he's a better character than Sasuke, and I like Sasuke, but like his his struggle, his turmoil, and his revenge is different. Like, it's more adult. Sasuke was just a little spoiled brat in a sense, but with Kurapika, it's more so I'm still trying to keep my friends intact. I don't want to just become an all-out monster. I don't want to become, what they are. He still has a sense of compassion, even when he tells, was it Crollo? No, it wasn't. It was when he was talking to Uvo, and like the blood got on him. It was disgust. He was like, I'm disgusted by this. I don't even want to do this. Really, you know what I mean? But he can't let go of revenge. This is why he's so high up in my list. He was my favorite character when I first watched it. I got up to York New, I think, and then 2011 had started. I think the '99 version ended in York New, and I was like, oh, Kurapika is just he's the guy. You know what I mean? He was my number one, and I hated the Sasuke comparisons at the time, but he's friends to Gon and Killua and Leorio, and he is a great friend instead of just being that nonchalant, I'm the coldest one on the team, so I'ma just play the back until it's time for me. Like, honestly, Killua was the best one on the team when they first started, and Kurapika respected that. He respected his talents, and they went through the hunter exam together, and Kurapika was just, he was learning them, learning himself, and a sense of becoming a hunter. And it was a gradual, it wasn't, like I said, like the last comparison to Sasuke, it wasn't him just being a a-hole and just being mean to everybody. He showed compassion, he could be funny, and he knew when to act, for friends, and when to become friends with people. Like, oh, these are good people, I'ma just befriend them and stick with them. Now, when we get past York New, he's kind of like in and out of the story, but he's in it. Like, if you read the manga, he's still a big part of it, but he's kind of out, and that kind of took away from him to me, because we didn't get to see more character growth. This is why where he is another reason, but he's still like a big major part of the story. And if you read the chapters where they're going to the Dark Continent, you like, oh, Kurapika is still the guy. Now, character design, his character design, he looks like I thought he was a female when I first started watching the show. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a reveal. He's gonna be a female, but he's a guy. His Kurta clan design is really. I like that he still wears the Kurta outfits. I really like the cutoff. I think it was a red vest one. I think that was like my favorite one. I don't really like the first one that much. As I think he put on the red one later on, and to me that's sweet. Then he has the suit on when he becomes the bodyguard, in later chapters. But I love his design. I like how the hair is. To me, he has the best. What do you even call, like, nin weapon with the chains? That was the sweetest of somebody sacrificing something so they can get a bigger power. I think the nin system is the best power system in anime. I don't think anybody will argue that with me. It just is. I really loved how it showed he had different teachers. They all have different teachers. Like, I think the guy name is Wing that Gon and Killua had. And then he gets another teacher, I can't remember his name, when he was learning his nin. And he was trying to ask for more power, and he saw that Kurapika wanted just revenge. He was like, I really don't want to teach you that this is what you're gonna use. I don't want you going on that path. But he told him how to get more power, and Kurapika popped out with the chain, which, like I said, is my favorite nin weapon in the whole show, which is another reason why he's so high up on his list. It's such a great concept. Like, at first he used like these police batons, but they were kind of corny anyway, man. But he was cold with them. But the chains is just, he wants to put them in chains, but he puts his heart in chains. Like, and if he goes off the path and does destruction to somebody else, he dies, because his real adversaries, the Phantom Troop, You know, the spider, that's who he really has to go. If he uses that against anybody else, he dies. It just has to be the spider. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I thought that was just a great concept. I'm like, this character just keeps getting better and better. Now he becomes a bodyguard in the Dark Continent. You know, and like he's a bodyguard to one of the princes, and it's real interesting. I don't think it's gonna finish, man. Like just like Game of Thrones ain't gonna never finish. It is such great concepts and ideas that I don't think we're ever gonna see pan out or pay out in the way that the author originally intended it for it to pay out. But anyway, is he's still a great character? The eyes, that's I like him because he becomes a specialist through those. He doesn't just stay a specialist because he's the Kurta clan is so he's a specialist because of the Kurta clan has those eyes. Now if he just was a regular person, he'd probably still be just as good. But with those eyes, he turns into a specialist. I like that he's just not just straight up specialist. But I think that's about it for him. I mean, I could talk about these characters longer than I am, but I just want to keep the great power points of what makes them so great. And yeah, Kurapika's a great friend. Like I said, he can be dismissive or try to isolate himself, but that's just to the benefit of his friends. It's not him trying to be mean or dark or I can only do this. It's I have to do this alone. This doesn't, my when I get done with this, maybe I can get back to my friends, but I have to do this alone so they don't get hurt and I'm not putting them in danger for anything. That's why the York New arc was so good. Like he didn't want Killua, Gon, and Leorio to get caught up in his madness, which they end up doing, and he ended up agreeing to it. Like, all right, y'all my friends, y'all want to help. And the scene where they kidnap Crollo is one of the chef's kiss. It is such a great scene how they the lights go out and all of that. I mean, if nobody hasn't seen Hunter Hunter, go watch Hunter Hunter. It's such a great scene, such a great plan, and he he beats the mess out of Crollo in the car. Crollo just looking at him. He like wants to end him right then and there, but he know he has to go through with the plan. He's such a great character, man. Kurapika is he's like the character of conflict within himself. You always get those characters in animes where it's like I don't know if anybody watched The Gray Man, but the main character is that Alan. He has this conflict within himself, and I think that's Kurapika's character. Everybody has these. Every anime has these characters, and I believe it's Kurapika, and I love it. And I would place him higher on the list if we had more to him, but I got other people. My number 4 is Kurapika.